Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to another reading. This will be your general read for those of you who have Scorpio, highly aspected. I hope that you've been well. So let's get to talking about June and talking about you. Right in the feels. So, a little emotional. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. You're in your feelings about something, someone close to home. Oops, sorry. All right, let us talk about what's here. Isn't it crazy how sometimes the people who have the potential to betray you in the worst ways or treat you in the most unkind ways, speak to you crazy, look at you like you're crazy, talk to you like a crazy person and mistreat you? Isn't it wild how sometimes those are the people that are the closest to you? It creates this feeling of futility and feeling as though there isn't anyone that you can truly trust, that there isn't anyone close to you who truly cares or truly understands your perspective or truly tries as hard as you do. There are concepts that they're not too difficult for you to grasp. And maybe there are some who don't speak to you about certain things, or they speak to you in a certain way because they think that you don't understand. They think that you won't be able to see reason or to understand their perspective, to understand their side of things. And there are also concepts that admittedly, yes, may be more difficult for you to grasp because they're new to you, or maybe because of a lack of exposure to that particular concept. You haven't quite, it's difficult for you to visualize how something will end because it's not a concept that you're familiar with. It's not something that you've seen pan out. It may not be something that is a part of that has been a part of your life experience. It's new to you. And that's all of us. We fail up, we go through life learning and being exposed to different perspectives, being exposed to new concepts that all have the ability to grow us, to push us further down certain paths. So I want to go through this gradually here for a moment, and just because I've just been speaking holistically about it all. Hopefully I haven't lost you with my rambling. This feeling of futility, I do think that there is a period where it levels out, and there's an understanding that, you know, maybe you can only be hurt so much until you begin to feel numb. And so that feeling of disappointment and it levels out. And there's an understanding that circumstances will change, but it requires a kind of patience from you. It requires you to be very resourceful with your it requires that you be very careful with how much you allow your feelings to impact your life. They can either help you or they can harm you. They can push you to build better, to do better, to build yourself up. They can, you know, push you to cultivate self-confidence in a way that you don't disappointments and disrespect doesn't eat away at your soul, but rather it's a reminder of who you really are and of what your potential is. Or you could allow it to destroy you and to sink deeper and deeper into complacency, because you believe the lies that are being told to you, or because you believe in the perception that some of the people in your life have of you. It is about choices. And it is about whether or not you can find your self-esteem throughout it all. It is about whether or not you can find, whether or not you can be secure. And being secure doesn't mean being safe. It doesn't mean not improving. It doesn't mean not changing for the better because you feel as though you've peaked. I think that it would be to your benefit to approach life always striving to be better than the person that you were yesterday, to, you know, that saying they have, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. What I'm talking about is ambition, and how it's not a dirty thing, and how it's something that Tauruses, Cancers, Aries, Virgos, Gemini, they all have in common. They all have that drive. And I think that there are components of each of those personalities that you can pull into your life and pull into yourself. I don't think that it'll be successful, though, if there isn't any accountability. If you don't release any thoughts you may have in your mind that you are a victim or that your life is just happening to you. You can affect change here. But enough excuses. It's counterintuitive to the life you want to lead and to the life you want to have. The excuses prevent you from setting yourself up for success. So don't make them. You may not have made any yet. I think it's better to be honest than to try to make any around this time. There is this, one of the things, that I've learned from working in corporate America, and one of the things that I think are helpful for you to succeed, a very important part of the recipe is when we're talking about what you're producing and when we're talking about deliverables and projects that you're working on and things like that, how do you ensure that you are not underperforming? The way that you do that is that you're honest about what is within your capacity to produce, and you're realistic with you're setting realistic expectations for yourself. And when you're speaking about the plan, it is better for you to under promise and then over deliver than it would be for you to over promise and under deliver. Think about that for a moment. You will find that over time, with each commitment that you make or each project that you're working on, you're exceeding expectations because you're accomplishing more than you set out to do. So there's themes of honesty in this read. There's themes of integrity and about how fabrication and bragging and reckless pride, how all of those things can be stones in your path. We don't want to do anything that's going to make the journey more difficult, that's going to make life harder to live. So don't do those things. Take control of your life. Take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your life, of your life. I hope this helped. I'll see you in the next one.